Hi, I'm Quinn, and today I want to talk about the sequel to the book Clan of the Cave Bear. It's the second book in the Earth Children series called Valley of the Horses, and it picks up right where the first book left off. And in my last video about this series, I talked about the movie and the book. It picks up right where the other one left off, where Ayla has been banished from the clan and is sent off on her own. And she has been tasked to find the others, or other people that are like her, because the Clan of the Cave Bear is more Neanderthal, kind of, and her people are more like the humans now. So this one was a lot different than the other book. But to me it felt like the logical conclusion. I mean, not conclusion, but continuation, really, of the story. So Ayla has left and her son is still with the clan, and he is half, part clan, part other, so he looks a little bit different. He's a mix of both of them, both of their peoples, and so she's having to survive on her own, which is fine. Like, she's taken what she's learned from the clan people and survives. She finds this little cave and she's able to hunt, and there's no problem with that. Like, she doesn't have to follow the rules of the clan because there's no one around that she has to answer to. And she really enjoys that freedom, but the solitude, gets to her. And luckily she's not alone the entire time. She's ends up befriending a baby horse, and she takes care of the horse. She names the horse Winnie. And eventually she is able to find a wounded cave lion, a lion, and she takes care of it and names it Baby. It's kind of adorable, and she raises these two creatures to their adulthood. And so she's alone for a few years, but establishes friendships with these creatures. Like, she teaches herself how to ride Winnie. Like, no one's ever done this before. In this world, nobody's ever ridden a horse before, or ridden a cave lion before. It's just so fascinating, and that she develops these friendships with these creatures, and she doesn't see them as beneath her. She sees them as her equals. And all the while that we're going through this experience with Ayla, we are introduced to a man named Jondalar and his brother, and they are traveling, just going on their journey to manhood, I guess you could say, and just, I'm not gonna lie, a little bit of their part of the book was a little bit boring to me, just because it's Jondalar and his brother, and they're visiting, they run into a bunch of different peoples, different peoples where they don't know the language, and they slowly kind of learn a little bit of the languages. And you find out very quickly that Jondalar is well endowed, which seems like kind of a weird thing to focus on considering the last book. But you can tell right away that this book is going to focus more on sexuality. I had been told by others who had read this book that it becomes more of a romance. So as I was reading, I was just like, uh-oh. But of course, that Jondalar and Ayla are gonna get together. I mean, that's kind of what it's setting up. So to me, as I was reading, I was interested in what was going on with Ayla, but I kind of found Jondalar and his brother's stuff to be really, boring, because I just wanted to hurry up and have him get with Ayla. I mean, honestly, like, after reading the first book, I was, like, excited that she was gonna get to experience true, you know, pleasure. Because, like, that's kind of the focus, is John Delar is really good in the sack. Like, he knows how to... And in their worlds, in John Delar's, their people and the people that they meet along the way, like... first rights or first pleasure is really, really important to them. And so I was just like, okay, that's wonderful. Like, Ayla's gonna get to experience true pleasure and eroticism and all that. Woohoo! So, like, you know, just kind of like, okay, waiting on that to happen. But it is a little bit sad for Ayla, because as she's, you know, we're going back and forth between Ayla and John Delar, and John Delar's brother ends up passing away, and John Delar gets injured actually by a baby, the cave lion, and that's how him and Ayla end up getting, you know, into one another's path, is that she helps him because he's been wounded, and you know, the horse, Winnie, ends up going off with other horses to, you know, do horse stuff. But eventually the horse comes back after her mate dies, and Ayla helps Winnie give birth. And it's just so interesting, because I guess, like, in other books you'd be like, oh, okay, the horse is having a baby, that's so interesting. But Ayla helps her, and it's not like, oh, hey, it's a creature. Like, it is written as her equal, and, like, you want everything to go well with the horse. And like, John Delar is, you know, injured. He wakes up and he's like, well, I've never seen anybody help a horse give birth before. Like, and obviously she can't understand him, and he can't understand her, because when she speaks with like the clan of the Cave Bear people, and it's very, very interesting, because John Delar has, and the people that know him, his people or whatever, like, they call the clan of the Cave Bear, or other, you know, people like them, they call them flatheads. And there's, like, they don't believe that they have any type of humanity. They don't believe that there's any redeeming qualities from them. So he doesn't, like, they just don't understand each other. Like, Ayla and John Delar don't understand, but eventually they are able to communicate. Like, he teaches her his language, and she's able to, like, they're able to learn from each other. And they're obviously very attracted to each other. Like, she's, you know, kind of freaked out, because this is the first person like her that she's ever really seen before. And like, they do clash when she finds out how much he and people like him hate the way she was raised, because they think that, like, her offspring would have been an abomination and they're evil. And she was just like, no, like, my people that I love, they're not evil, like, they're not terrible. And so they do kind of fight about that. And it's like I said before, it's very realistic. I thought it was a logical continuation from Clan of the Cave Bear and the world that has been created through this. Eventually, John Delar and Ayla experience pleasures together, and it's very beautiful. And so that was nice. And they experience it in a way that, like, she learns that she is able to initiate as well, and it's lovely. I can't, what I was to say, like, I don't really think it suddenly becomes a romance. Like, I would say that the person that said that to me was incorrect, but, you know, it's a matter of opinion, really. The Valley of the Horses ends with Ayla and John Delar traveling. Like, they went on a little, like, vacation, I guess you could say. They just went on a little trip together just to wander around, and the book ends with them seeing other people, and the people, like, wave to them and call them over. So that was a really exciting way to finish the book. and begin the third one. It's I believe it's called The Mammoth Hunters. I am a couple chapters into that book, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. I'm a little nervous for the two of them, but I really enjoy them together. Like I said, it was kind of some of it was you know, a bit like just, oh, come on, get to what I want to read, you know, they're going to be together, you know they're going to fall in love, like, let's just kind of get to it. But it was worth it. Like, the journeys and everything, it was beautiful. I loved it so much. I would definitely recommend it if you loved the first book and you want, you know, Ayla to progress as a person in all manners, then definitely check it out. And I look forward to see where The Mammoth Hunters goes and the other books of the Earth's Children series. So, yeah, stay tuned for that. I'll get around to that eventually. If there's any other books you'd like me to talk about, please put them in the comments. Give me a like, give me a thumbs up, and I will see you next time. Bye.